Okay, so yeah, I mean, true to form, I missed last week, but I had a valid reason. I had the flu. No, I did not have COVID-19, but I did in fact have the flu, which prevented me from watching, reviewing, and editing last week's episode 12, what, move in or move out or get out, whatever the episode was. But I guarantee you I watched it, and I'll be able to insert some of that into this episode because pretty much everybody recommitted it, and I was like, what the fuck and why? I am your girl Talisa Rae. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. Let's sit back a little bit. There we go. We are reviewing Married at First Sight, season number 10, episode number 13, Secrets and Lies. Baby, let me tell you, lots of lies, okay? Lots of secrets. I mean, that's been true to form the entire season 10. I'm actually not a fan of this season. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, it's drama-packed, it's drama-filled, but I'm not really like invested in this episode, if you know what I mean, in this season, if you know what I'm saying. Last season I was vested like there, like, yeah. This season I'm all like, I could take it or leave it, but because I love y'all, I make sure to come back and try and do a review. So let's just start off with Jessica and Austin. We knew that they were going to recommit. Honestly, I thought that they was gonna have an issue during the recommitment episode, but they didn't. I mean, you know, Jessica and her I love yous, and Austin and his, you know, you can't move things too fast, right? Anyway, so they go out for dinner, and Jessica discovers that Austin, that she knew he would be traveling, but not for an extended amount of time and not as often as he will be traveling. And I'm with her. It could be a hindrance. It could hinder the progress of this new budding, blossoming marriage that they have and the progress that they have made. The reason being is they don't have the quality time that they're spending together now and getting to know each other. Because we all know they came in here not knowing nothing about each other, but are doing really well. I also feel like, though, it could work if they are both willing to make the commitment to say, listen, though we are apart, we will FaceTime or Google Duo or Skype or something, and we will still have intimate moments and make time for one another. You know, sometimes the heart does, sometimes the distance does make the heart grow fonder, so maybe it would be beneficial to their marriage. That is to be seen, but we won't see it because the 8 weeks will be over and they will be back to like their regular lives until we find out maybe for the reunion episode. She's like obsessed with this whole I love you thing, but we know it's because she loves him, and we find out, you know, she a little prideful. Like, listen, I don't want to tell nobody I love them first. I don't want to tell anyone that I love them first. Like, what I look like? I mean, how many of y'all felt like that before in your life? What I look like? I'm not gonna be like I love you. Okay, it could just be unspoken because neither one of us is gonna say it. And actually, it kind of hinders the progress in your relationship if you don't open up and express how you feel and being vulnerable with one another. I mean, that's just facts. And that's just not with I love you. That's with almost everything. You have to be vulnerable, open up, and express your emotions and how you feel about the way things are going. Now, he does say, you know, I'm crazy about you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not ready to say that word. And I think that that's a theme for him. He is okay with saying I'm crazy about you, but I just don't see it. Well, or I just can't say it. How about that? Then Viviana, Dr. Viviana, I call her Viviana like she the homegirl, you know, because we professionals and everything. Dr. Viviana goes to visit them for like a check-in after the recommitment. And Jessica brings up the whole traveling situation and how she was taken aback by it. And I just wanted to say that I do like Viviana's open, easy approach. Like, it's really kind of non-judgmental, her approach to her counseling sessions. I really do like that. But in the midst of all of this, they start talking about, she was like, you know, the traveling thing comes up, and she's all like, well, your love will continue to grow. And then she brings it up like, I said love, but are you okay with it? Are you comfortable with it? It feels awkward. It feels stale. It feels weird in here. And it's because they probably both feel the same way and are afraid to say it. But of course, here is Jessica's opportunity. And she says, I do love you, Austin. And then there's that awkward silence. And the fear of saying I love you first. The fear of being embarrassed. What if you get rejected? What if he doesn't feel the same way about me? Like, all of that are things that you go through your mind in this moment. And I'm kind of proud of Jessica. Just go ahead and just put it out on the table. That way it's not hindering you or your movement. Because right now, before today, everything was surrounded around the L word. He says, I am crazy about her, and things have not moved so fast, or I have not felt this way about anyone ever so quickly. So that alone tells you that he does have very strong feelings about her, and that he does in fact love her, but really wants to be sure. Like, men are rational. Well, let me not say all men. Most men are logical. Most men are rational and say, well, let me not jump in. Let me just take my time. Because for him, love is a power word. I mean, love is a power word for me. That is my word. Love, I believe that we all have some level of love for one another. Like, that is a power word. So I understand why he might be gun shy in saying it. I mean, hell, I ain't known you but for 4 weeks. Girl, slow down. I can't take the heat. Slow down. Slow down, man. Like, that's really how he feeling. Like, whoa. Too much, too soon, too fast could also ruin a relationship. I don't know. You guys let me know down below in the comments what you think. Well, she gives them an exercise to go to the beach and write a letter to them to their younger selves, just so that they can have a deeper understanding of one another. Because we didn't see them go into their past, like to their old homes, and both of them have their parents. He's a mama's boy, so I'm sure the mama probably lives in the same place that she's always lived, the mother and the father. You know what I'm saying? Like, why didn't y'all go there? But it gave her some insight into who he was. And I just thought he was going to take this moment to be like, I love you, Jessica. Like, it felt like that kind of moment to me. And when she read hers, she came to the realization that, you know what, I'm glad that I said I love you first, because people aren't here often, forever. You need to express how you feel about someone immediately. And I love you. Like, that's what it sounds like I'm getting ready to sing because I'm stuttering. But I'm in agreement. You should share how you feel, because life is short. Today we're here, tomorrow we may not. Lesson I learned with my husband. You everything is hindsight is 2020. And like Jessica, you become emotional when you don't spend the right amount of time with the people you love, and you don't express yourself, and you start to feel some kind of way. And so I'm with her on that. Do y'all tell the people you love them? Are you one of those people that take forever to be like, I love you? Like, or when the moment feels right, you just say it? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. I always tell you though, love has varying degrees. So I can meet you today and say I love you, but be meaning I love you with the love of the Lord. Not like I have an intimate, deep connection of love with you. You get what I'm saying? Let's go to the next couple. Okay, so let's talk Brandon and Taylor. Okay, like, I'm surprised that Brandon recommitted. Hell, I'm surprised that Taylor recommitted in the place that they were. But I don't know if y'all have ever been on reality TV. I've been on, like little short things that were reality TV. And a lot of times they do ask you to give some direction, or they give you some direction on how to act and what to say. But I really feel like their relationship was really genuine, and it was really on the outs. So I was surprised when last episode they recommitted. Because when he said, I just can't. I was like, yeah, be honest. Like, if you feel like you cannot let go of the past and you can't move forward, then you need not move forward. And this episode, what I learned is Taylor is a little bit controlling and wants things to operate the way she wants them to. You know what I meant to tell y'all too? A few weeks back, I can't remember who it was, but in the comments he said that the reason that they aren't connecting is because Taylor was really the third choice for Brandon. The first choice backed out for whatever reason. So did the second choice. He said it in the comments. And if I can find that comment, I'll put it down here on the screen. But it was the first choice backed out, the second choice backed out, and the third choice is who he ended up with. And so maybe they aren't as compatible as they should be. They should have just let Brandon go and stuck with 4 couples. Like, why ruin his life? I don't think I said that to you before. But let's go ahead and talk about episode 13, right? And first thing I wrote is, she looks really pretty in yellow, but all black women look gorgeous in some form of yellow or mustard, some kind of gold. Like, when you find the tone that is right for you, we kill the color yellow, okay? Every time somebody on the internet got on yellow, no matter what shade of black they are, from the lightest to the darkest in melanin, we all look absolutely amazing. And she's got like a new wig. Looks like a new synthetic wig, like one of those. It's not even a Bobby Boss wig, because Bobby Boss wigs have really good texture. It's one of them like Vivica Fox wigs. I really wish, because she's a pretty girl, that she would just wear her hair in a ponytail so you could see her face. She's got all her edges, we can see that. So I mean, and I believe that her hair probably can be put in a ponytail, like get it pressed out and into a ponytail, but maybe it's just easier to maintain. I'm on a ramble. I'm on a rant. Okay, let's keep going. So they go on a date, and he's got the weird cut face with just the little bottom chin going. But they seem a lot more relaxed and comfortable, especially after the conversation that they had after their sessions for the recommitment. It seemed like they had opened up a little bit and explained their needs. It was actually the most that we've seen Brandon speak. And I think that he needs to take more control. She needs somebody that is more assertive, more aggressive with her and what they want. I think that that's the problem in their relationship. He's too laid back, and she's an alpha type personality. And alpha woman needs an alpha male. I mean, for the most part, we don't want nobody we can run over. And sometimes Brandon seems that way. Anyway, that's just my take on it. And if you don't agree, do so down below in the comments. They talk about, you know, she wants him back at the house, and really he kind of low-key wants to be back too. And they have this like back and forth conversation about coming back. It's pretty much awkward, and she was like, well, do you want to move back in and move in and come in the room with me? And he's like, I'd like to go to the master, versus, yes, I want to be in the bed with my wife and be where my wife is and under my wife and get to know my wife, and you know, her breathing patterns and her sleep. And I mean, that's the thing, y'all. I mean, we talked about Tantra and how you're connected in the breathing and the, like, that whole connection, even in sleeping together, is intimacy. So she asks him back to spend the night, okay? And so I'm all like, why do you have your full face of makeup on? In the counseling session with Dr. Viviana, you had no makeup on and that hair was horrible. So why do you have on that makeup? And the wig, of course, doesn't look as matted. So she twisted up and put it, you know, like, I was like, oh, okay, girl, I see you. I'm going to have to try that. Because, you know, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, fellas. When a lady wears a wig, if we aren't comfortable with you, like if you haven't seen us in our natural state with our Cleo braids in our hair or whatever, we're not taking that wig off. Hers might even be sewn down. I'm gonna be honest, I don't take mine off either. If I'm wearing wigs when I meet you and it's the first time we spend the night, I ain't taking that off. I make sure that it's either tacked down, pinned down, sewn down. I like how she twisted that up. I'm gonna have to try that with my curly wigs, not, you know, because the curly ones, they braid, but with my ones with like curls in them, there we go. I'm gonna have to try that, but I'm gonna just be honest. So I don't fault her for having the wig on, but that makeup, we already know what you look like. You could take that makeup off and you are an attractive woman without it. They go and visit where Brandon grew up. Of course, it wasn't the house, but it was like where he spent most of his days. Back in Philadelphia, where I spent most of my days, you know, basketball, whatever. I don't know what the hell. I'm trying to think of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air song, okay? That's what came in my head, but can't think of the words. Nonetheless, they go on the basketball court. And he says, this is where I learned to be a man. This is where I taught myself how to play basketball. This is, you know, in this park is where we built forts. This is where I spent a lot of my time. And then they had like a little playful game of basketball, which was cute and an intimate exercise. And she's all like, this is the most that you've touched me in a long time. See, the problem with them is their communication. She said, "This is the most you've touched me," and he took his hands off of her. Because it's not the right time. Like, I'm enjoying myself. And she said it in a sarcastic way, full of sarcasm, dripping with sarcasm. I understand it because I'm a sarcastic person and I know where she's coming from. It's like an awkward way to express yourself, instead of saying, "I'd really like you to touch me more," or touching him to let him know that it's okay. Like, y'all just came off of a really horrific first month. So getting comfortable and reintroducing him, especially if you want the physical touch part and you want that kind of connection from him, you're going to have to initiate it, because all walls are up, all doors are closed. And honestly, when you look at their relationship, it's like the roles are reversed. She's more of the aggressor where he's so passive, you know. So it could be awkward. So the exercise Dr. Viviana gave them was the exercise with the cards, where each card symbolizes something. I know they said that hearts were you have to touch someone for that many seconds. Diamonds were you had to give that many compliments. And then I think it was clubs were what were clubs? And they didn't say what spades were. And clubs were just on the top of my tongue. I didn't write them down, but oh well, if y'all know, remind me down below in the comments. And I thought that was a great exercise for the two of them, because why? They don't know anything about each other. They're getting reacquainted. It's like they're starting from scratch. I did want to say that when he complimented her, it was easy. Like, they rolled off of his tongue with no problem, because they were genuine. For her, she had several compliments for him, but it seemed like she was having a hard time articulating them. But he had no problem. Like, he is in this for the moment. I ain't gonna say for the long haul, because we don't know. He was just last 2 episodes ready to go, call it quits. I can't deal with it, okay? And honestly, she still didn't give him the apology that he wanted. At least we didn't see it, you know, the one that's face to face. But I'm glad that he forgave her and went ahead with the cards, because when he brought it up on the couch, y'all, and she was like, we just need to move past that. But you didn't move past Panama. Now you just want him to move past the shit you did. Chad, I'm about over this hypocrisy, okay, and these double standards that all of us have. Like, what you want is also what you should give, okay? Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Let's talk Katie and Derek, shall we? So what we found out in episode number 12 is that she doesn't support his dreams. Like, he has too many, he dreams too big, it's too much, and she just doesn't support him in them at all. And watching them, I thought to myself, she is totally overreacting. Like, I don't like her. Which one of y'all said she was a spoiled brat? Because she is. And then I was looking at her mouth and I was like, I hate the way her mouth moves. Like, her mouth moves. I was getting irritated by her. And I was like, poor Derek. Because he really is putting in effort. He even said, I want you, but in some of my dreams. Like, I don't have to have all of them, but recognize that I want some of them. And I get it. You want some identity and you want your spouse to support you in them. And I do like that Dr. Viviana, for Katie, let her understand that you don't have to like his dreams. She's like, I gotta fake it. Bitch, you don't have to like his dreams, but you should support him in his dreams, especially ones that are attainable, like writing a Christmas song. Like, really, were you that bothered by that? Writing a book. You can't write a book and have kids? Where? Because I'm writing a book and I got 2 kids. Where? I was going to write a book with my husband when he was living and we had these 2 kids, plus his son that's in a different state. Like, where? Somebody explain to me why you can't write a book, why you can't write a song. Some things might have to be modified, but why can't you have dreams and be a family person? Some of y'all disagreed with me last time, so do that down below in the comments again, because I still don't understand why you can't have these dreams and still have a family. Some of them may have to be pushed to the side. You know, some may take longer to develop. You might have to wait until for some that your kids are old enough to go backpacking with you. Like, it's some things that you just have to adjust to. And I just like how he always is reassuring with her and really just, you know, like he really wants their relationship to work. He's really trying his damnedest as best as he can. But let's talk about this episode. The first time we see them is when Viviana goes to visit them, and she recommends that they open up about their past. You know, that will help give some insight into who they are and the vulnerability and their intimacy level. And what we also find out is that they both, you know, have divorced parents, and that Derek held on to his child at heart. Like he isn't too serious about a lot of stuff, and has dreams and things that he didn't get to do in his youth that he wants to do now, where she said, well, I threw all those childish things aside and matured and did what I needed to do immediately. Like there was no growth in my youth. And I was like, well, this is where the two of you balance one another out. But that's the same thing that Dr. Viviana or Dr. Cal said, or Pastor Cal said in their therapy sessions, counseling sessions, whatever. Derek always does things that make us smile. I'm with Dr. Viviana when he turned and said, if it's something that is this something I can help you with, or if you need some help with this, I will. Like he warms my soul. And maybe he has not been in love, but he understands supporting someone and caring for loving someone where they are. And that a lot of the things that he says moves me. Like last episode when he grabbed her by her hands and said, I want you in your entirety. Like, somebody's got a tear. Like that moved me, and that's one of those things that we want. I want someone to love me with all my flaws. And so sometimes I think Katie loses sight of that, and she did again lose sight of what she has in that damn garage with her husband. All of his memorabilia is in his garage because mom is in Uruguay, right? And so when they start going through the stuff, you see like some sketches, you see his high school photos, gigantic, like 11 by or 12 by 18s. You know, sometimes it be like that, you know. I think I got a couple 11 by 17s of my son, but nevertheless, we have them, right? And so she begins to go through his stuff. And some of the memorabilia is like, you know, of when he was a child. And he wrote a poem when he was a freshman in high school called Sight. And I was like, when I was listening to it, I was like, I told y'all he was in love, that he has been in love, and his heart was probably broken back in high school. And we got a little bit of glimpse of it through the poem. And he says no, that he wasn't, you know, that he can imagine how it would feel. But I'm going to just be honest with you. The emotion and the vulnerability in that poem is from somebody who has been hurt, who may have loved someone and they didn't know in return, you know what I'm saying, like, and he closed it off. And now whenever it gets close to looking like something that will break his heart, he backs out. But he said that wasn't what it was, and that he had just visualized it. And Katie was like, I just don't know who this person is. Who are you? I just can't take it. Because, of course, this is the emotion that she wants from him. You know, she's all like, he says he hasn't been in love, but here it is. Sounds like someone who has been in love. And then on top of that, she looks at a cooler that, you know, an ex had made for him, and they had went on a date and then snuck into the circus and pet the elephants. And she got jealous of that date. Like, she felt like that was a romantic thing, and that, like, who are you? And this is what I want from him. And she got a little jealous. And I thought, but for why? Because you've only known him for a month, right? That girl probably was dating him for months, if not years. But the difference is you're his wife, and he's already showing you that he is that kind of a person, that he's kind-hearted, that he's thoughtful, that he's considerate. Like, all of us are looking at you like, Katie, what the fuck is wrong with you? Is it that you just don't like Derek? You know, they say be with someone who loves you more than you love them, and you don't even seem to like him, because I don't understand, because the things that he's done for you have been very thoughtful, and he's only known you for 4 fucking weeks. Like, girl, some of us have been in relationships for years and ain't getting some of the shit that you got. Get the fuck out of here. That's crazy to me. Now, the only thing I don't like is I wish I had seen her memorabilia. Like, I wish, like, we had saw Austin and Jessica's. I wish we'd seen theirs. I wish that we would have visited Taylor's home. Like, maybe that's coming up or something. I don't know. But it would have been nice to have a glimpse into that. Maybe they did it and they cut it off. Like, I need to see deleted scenes or unedited episodes. Like, I feel like they give us what they think we want to see. I want to see it all. So if that requires you to have, you know, one of these back episodes that y'all have on demand, then I need y'all to do that, producers and director of Married at First Sight. Hello, I'm nosy. Okay, let's go to the next one. Baby, I just wish Mika and Michael would have called it quits last episode. I really do. I mean, Michael wouldn't have called it quits, but Mika is so unhappy that I wish she would have just called it quits. Because though her anger or her disappointment and frustration is valid, is warranted, it just comes off always like the angry black girl. And I don't like that for her. It's not a good look. Like, especially since we know that he officially has a problem. Like, he's an habitual liar. We found out before why he wants to impress. You know, he has something to prove. We found that out why, but of course we just go into it deeper. So when we first see them in this episode, after they then recommitted with one another and said, you know, I'm gonna give him a soft place to land, and I'm gonna work on being more honest and transparent with her. Oh, let me just say this. When Michael lies, he has a tail, just like with Zach. He has a tail. He won't look at you. The moment he was lying with Pastor Cal, because it was in such a close setting, an intimate setting, you could see his body language more, and you could see his tail as he averts his eyes. I mean, most people have a tail. They touch, they do something when they lie, and so that was where he lied. Anyway, so when we see them, they're sitting in the bed, and she's all like, so we were going to be more honest and transparent, and I want to talk finances. And I thought, that's not really the first thing that you want to come off of. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I get it, but that's not the first thing you want to go into. I think you should go baby steps, considering you know that he is putting up a facade. It's something we talked about 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago with Dr. Pepper. Like, he's putting up who he thinks you want. So finances is not the first or the best way to delve into this, but here we go. They pull up finances. She shows her weekly, and you multiply this by 52 weeks, and this is how much I make. And he's all like, well, I have not gotten my first paycheck yet, but here's my offer letter. Okay? So then he pulls up something else on his phone and shows, like, you know, there's how much he makes, plus taxes removed, plus benefits, plus this, plus that. And she was like, I don't know any job that's going to do that for you before you fill out your W-2. Okay, well, there are estimating calculators, okay? But I get what she's saying. My job has an estimating calculator. However, okay, I understand what she's saying, and she's like, that's 2 whole figures off. So she's confused, and then just goes off on a tirade. She storms out of the apartment. I know we said we wasn't gonna walk away, but I can't do this. He's a liar. If one of y'all, I know nobody want to be with a fucking liar. Do y'all? If y'all do, y'all can have him, because this isn't what I want. Like, literally is not in control of her emotions. I mean, most of us, when we have a trigger, her trigger is lying, we kind of lose it a little bit. And when she's going through this, I'm saying to myself, I'm not sure why you went ahead and recommitted, because you feel so strongly about this, and you already know that there's a pattern with him, you know, and though he keeps telling you, I'm gonna be different, he finds something different to lie about. Like, there's something else that he lies about again and again. And because it borderlines disrespect on his part and yours, you probably should have just walked away. But again, Is it that you don't want to call it quits? Are you being married for married's sake? Do you want to follow it through? Do you want to see if he's going to change? I just want to know what her point is. It just never feels good to watch. It never feels good to watch her go off the handle. Though he is the culprit, you know what I'm saying? He's the one that is falsifying, exaggerating, lying, making up shit, mentirosa. She's the one going off the deep end and not handling things well. And so I still feel the same way, though she's vindicated, he's a liar. I still feel that she's not in control of her emotions. And she's not giving, she's not doing her part like he's not doing his. He's not being honest, and she's not giving a space that's comfortable for him to be himself and feel like I can just be myself, my true authentic self, which we find out later is a recommendation from the sister. Well, when Viviana comes to visit, you know, she explains what happened. Mika explains about the finances and how he's lied, and just she's very upset. And she does want to talk without hearing the entire, like, explanation. Because Dr. Viviana, after Mike had said whatever he was saying, she was like, I see that you want to say something. How is this making you feel? It's almost like, it's that thing that I tell y'all, sometimes you just have to listen intently, quietly, in silence. You're gonna hear, if you stop talking, you will hear so much more. Now, this is one thing I'm gonna say. In the midst of the shit, Michael has like the best fucking responses in the entire world. Do you hear me? He comes up with great responses, and they seem to be genuine. And it's about going into a character, or pretending to be someone else, or having a different narrative because he wasn't able to fit in, because he's weird as shit. I like weird, but he is weird as shit, y'all. He is, and y'all know it. And so he had to come up with a story or a facade about who he was because he was adopted. And, you know, it's believable, but it always feels like you're coming up with this, Michael, when it is convenient, when you are now in trouble, when things are not going the way that they should. You all of a sudden have become very expressive. I really recommend therapy for the both of them. Like separate therapy, especially if they decide to be delusional and stay together past the 8 weeks. I recommend therapy for the both of them, individually and together, because this isn't healthy. This is toxic. I mean, she's angry, he's rubbing his temples. You know, it's just too much. Like, they aren't effectively communicating. And I get, it could be frustrating on her part, like I said, for all the lies and shit. But damn, like, it doesn't even feel comfortable for me to even want to tell the truth. I'm lying. I tell the truth. I'm kind of straightforward. But I do try and hear what someone else is saying and try and look from their point of view. My point of view, looking at him, is he needs therapy. He does have issues from being adopted and not having a family of his own. He goes and meets Michael's sister for lunch or dinner or something. Child, let me tell you something. Sisters are so much harder than mothers. I'm a sister. It's harder to get to me than it is for you to get to my mother. Like, she'll pretend and she'll like you. Me, there's no pretending. I'm very protective of my younger brother. I don't play no games with him. Break his heart and I'll break yours. Like, literally. Sisters are harder. So I don't know if it was a good choice to have a conversation with the sister. Okay. At first it was seeming a little bit awkward between the two of them. You know, she was asking for insight, and you know, sister was like, he's a different character. Weirdo is what she was saying. You know, she was like, he's being dishonest and, you know, consistently dishonest. And at first she was a loss for words. And she said, you know, if he was sitting here, he would tell you that it was exaggeration and not lying. Which he probably would. He is amplifying his life. But she did give her some good advice with telling her, listen, you're going to have to show him how. You're going to have to make him comfortable, which is not fair to Mika. I shouldn't have to do all this damn work. I shouldn't have to do all this work in order to get what the end result. I should just be able to say this and that would be what it is. But I commend Mika for trying to find solutions. I think the best solution is for him to get some therapy. Period, point blank. Also for her to get some therapy to work on how to communicate with one another. Because the sister does reiterate that, you know, there's a level of rejection and a wall of protection that comes with these stories. And he wants to be accepted. He wants to be loved. He wants to be accepted. This is my new wife. And this is, you know, honestly, women in finances, we like that you have a job that can sustain us. Not that we not working and that we not contributing, but it's nice to know that you got a job that if the shit hit the fan, or I have a child and I have to be off and my work don't have maternity leave or whatever, which is against the law. But you know what I'm saying? If we don't get no money on maternity leave and it's just a little bit of disability money, I want to know that I'm safe and I'm secure in our finances, that I'm protected. Y'all let me know what you think down below in the comments about Mika and Michael. I think that they just need to go, I think they need to call it quits, but they keep trying hard. So I'm gonna keep commending them and hoping that they progress in a positive way. Child, it's all too much for me. Let's get to the next one, okay? And the final one, okay? Listen, I can't even begin to just talk about how elated I am for Mandy in this moment. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but homegirl needs a round of fucking applause. Like, way to go, Mandy. Okay, so first and foremost, let's talk about real quick. When they recommitted, I thought, what in the entire fuck are we doing? This is fuckery. This is tomfoolery, buffoonery. What are we doing? Why are y'all both recommitting? I was proud that Viviana said, let's set some expectations. You got to set some expectations in order, if you're going to move forward with this. Her expectations were that he be transparent and honest, that he tell her what the secret was that he was holding on to, that they spend more quality time together, and that he move in. Now they go and they have the conversation, and he says he's going to do those 3 things because of course he wants to recommit. And I like the fact that Pastor Cal was like, I call bullshit. Like, do you really think that you've been, you know, honest and that you've been a good husband and just a whole lot of stuff? And he was like, I call bullshit. There's no fucking way you could believe that yourself. Like, Pastor Cal's facial expressions kill me. Classic black person facial expressions. Anyway, but I'm glad that she said that, okay, I'm gonna recommit, but these are the things that I need from you. And he said, I can do those, minus the moving in. Like, look, can we talk about it? Can we take a step at a time? Like, how about I spend the night a couple days? And they were kind of negotiating that aspect of it. But he said he would spend more time with her. Okay, so he did. He spent the night. She was disappointed that he didn't sleep in the bed with her. I was disappointed that he didn't sleep in the bed with her. Her whole little constitution failed. But he had been spending more time with her, getting to know her. Well, baby, let's just start with this episode, shall we? Mandy goes and sits with the homegirls. Like, if your friends ain't being honest with you like this, then get you some new friends. So Mandy explains to them that she recommitted, and they all looking like, but why? And she talks about how he spent the night. Well, how was that? Well, he slept in the other room. And then she shares what the secret was. He told me what the secret was, but didn't tell me who it was. Said that I wouldn't know who it was, and told him that it was somebody that somebody knew. Okay? So the secret was that her ex had texted her and asked if he could pick her up from the airport. You know, you don't miss what you got till it's gone. That's all that is. And she said no. Okay? And that's something that he should have asked her about. And so evidently the person who had shared this information must have shared that they, you know, had some type of still level of intimacy. That's fucking Lindsay. Because we find out Shani, honey, Shani is like, I think I know who it is, because when I picked you up from the airport, I told Lindsay about your ex calling you, texting you. So she knew, she put 2 and 2 together. And then the light bulb went on for Mandy that he was lying still. But not only was he was lying to protect Lindsay. See, Lindsay wanted him for herself. That's the most trifling, nastiest shit. You saw that I got married to him, but I guess you figured because we was complete strangers that it didn't mean nothing and you could still shoot your shot. Mandy, that's not your friend. That's not your friend. That's not your friend. One of the things Pastor Cal said to Zach in their session was, did you ever think why would her friend reach out to you and not tell Mandy? Did that ever cross your mind? Did you consider it? That's that old low down snake behind your back type shit. That's that shit you do when you kids. Like, even if you thought, oh, we'll try and get at him, girl, and see if, that's what if that's what goes down. But that's not what that was. You wanted him for yourself, which is low down dirty, and you really ain't friends with Mandy. You was actually jealous because you wanted Zach for yourself. He's a looker. Girl, bye. Anyway, let's keep going. Before that, though, let me say that her friend said, well, moving in was one of your non-negotiables, wasn't it? Like, don't go back on it now, but the whole thing with Lindsay made it come full circle like, oh yeah, no. Oh, you got me fucked up. Well, when they go and they sit down and they have a conversation, he wants to toast, because this has been a happy week and I'm exhausted, but I'm happy, and they toasting, and she's all like, I don't think I can toast to that. I had 4 non-negotiables. She went through what they were and then said, you lied to me. You lied to me. And I can't move forward. I can no longer be in this marriage. Listen, Mandy, girl, we are so glad that you decided enough was enough, that you went ahead and found that inner strength. That conversation with Dr. Viviana was very beneficial for you because you found it. You realized that he was just going to keep lying and keep pulling you along and keep stringing you along. And I be damned, honey. I'm so glad. Because had you said, okay, I understand, he would have just, it's a pattern. He just figured you would keep falling for his shit. Instead of when the shit was getting put on the line, when he finally told you, they do got them Big Brother cameras, okay? We seen that. When shit was getting put on the line, he should have said, Lindsay said to me that your ex, but why you didn't want to tell her? Oh, because you're going to fuck Mandy when this is all said and done. Y'all probably been FaceTiming or some shit, doing some old nasty shit. That's how come you don't want to stay at the house, because you don't have that kind of liberty. Child. Though he apologized, it was just like I said, it was because he felt like he could probably convince her and manipulate her because she had been weak for so long. Not no more, brother. Honey, Mandy found her backbone. Looks like she gonna hold on to it too. She was disappointed, and though I'm excited for her and glad that she found the strength to say enough's enough, my heart goes out to her because it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's not what you were going through, wanted to go. You didn't sign up for this, to go through this kind of madness. Like she said, now I'm embarrassed. My friends and family were right, that this wasn't a good idea. But I found myself in the process. My heart goes out to her. And I feel so horrible for her that she has to go through this and that the trust was broken. Because now, does she take this into every relationship that she goes into? Probably not, because she is positive Patty. So hopefully this is just a lesson she learns and she moves forward. Well, Dr. Viviana goes to visit with Mandy. And of course, it's Mandy there by herself, and she shares the events of the night before. And baby, Dr. Viviana could not hold her smile. Professionalism tells you, okay, this is probably a grieving point for her because she did like him. But Dr. Viviana was like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm proud of you. You stood your ground. You're too good for him anyway. You're it. Like, understand that you are it. You are too good for him, and I'm happy for you. Let me contain my smile. How are you feeling? I also wrote down, if you give a person enough rope, they will hang themselves. So when she recommitted and she said, these are my expectations, I mean, if you live by them, then we'll make them. But if you give a person enough rope, eventually they will hang themselves. It's just that simple. Then she goes and visits with Zach. And I'm all like, Zach, where were you? Why are you like, yeah, you know, we were doing well. And what is this talking again in circles? Like, I thought we had started passing that. And you seem to be delusional. For some reason, you think that you're still in a situation with Mandy. And Dr. Viviana is like, no, I met with Mandy and she said that this is the end. Like, there is no more. Like, why are you still thinking that you're okay? And then she asks him, do you think you've ever lied? Did you lie to Mandy? And homeboy said no. Like, it's a trip. It makes you realize that in people's minds, withholding information isn't really lying. It's still deceit. It may not necessarily be lying, but it is deceitful, which all falls under the same umbrella. Like, how do you not think that you're lying? He also has a tail. When he was with Pastor Cal, I keep wanting to get to be Dr. Cal. But I need him to get his PhD so we can call him Dr. Cal, because I keep wanting to call him that. Pastor Cal, he also averts his eyes, but he touches himself, like when he lies. Child, he also said that he felt 100% that he was respectful. I was like, okay, yeah, you're a little off. She couldn't have made it any more plainer than him. She could not have made it more plain for him. He also said that he felt 100% that he was respectful. I was like, okay, yeah, you're a little off. She couldn't have made it any more plainer than him. She could not have made it more plain for him. You had more loyalty for Lindsay, or I wish you would have had as much loyalty for Mandy that you did for Lindsay. Then our girl Mandy finally celebrates and has a divorce party. These last couple episodes, she started taking better care of herself, looking a lot more like the woman we met originally. She had a divorce party and she seemed happy, but I'm going to just be honest with you, though it is a celebration, it is still heartbreaking. Like, she will have moments of doubt where it'll be like, was I not good enough? What was wrong with me? I don't know, y'all. Y'all let me know down below in the comments what you thought about this episode. I feel like that was a victory for Mandy. I feel like she won. I feel like she did the right thing. And granted, it probably took her a while to get over it. And reliving it by watching the show is hurting her. So we should probably be a little kind. But I am definitely proud of her coming from up under the rock that she was living under. Because the moment I found out that you and Lindsay had been having some conversations, honey, and they weren't about me, and you, what? Wait a minute. You have a level of intimacy with a friend of mine that you don't have with me. I would have been out of there. I really would have been out of there when he was like, you know, yeah, I'm not attracted to you. Then what are we doing? And he wasn't trying to get to know her or nothing. Y'all, listen. I'm happy for Mandy. I really want Mika and Michael to get some counseling. I really want Mika and Michael to get some counseling. I want Derek and Katie to open up her eyes and see that Derek is putting in maximum effort. I want Jessica and Austin to just move forward happily. I want Jessica to finally get off that soapbox, but I think she will, because she finally said, I love you. Who else is there? Brandon and Taylor. I'm not sure what I want for them. I'm gonna have to wait until the couples retreat. Y'all, you let me know down below in the comments what you think. Honestly, the only people I think that should say yes at the end of the 8 weeks is Jessica and Austin, but I'm sure that there will be several other people that say yes as well. I am am your girl, Talisa Rae. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight Season 10, Episode number 13, Secrets and Lies. If it's your first time visiting my channel, do not hesitate to click that subscribe button and become part of my family. Become a ray of sunshine. I mean, you're right there, so you should just go ahead and click that notification bell so you're alerted when another video pops up. Like, boom, shaka laka, shaka laka, shaka laka, shaka boom. Like, did y'all ever play that? Anyway, last but not least, because you love me and I know it's real, give this video a thumbs up. Yes, 2. 1. You know what I mean? You only could do it one time though. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I'll catch you on the next video.